Hey guys, it's Mike Garcia with you from DC today, heading home to be in the district for next week. Wanted to give you an update over the events of the last couple of weeks. About half of my time has been home in the district and the other half here on the Hill. While home, had about 25 meetings with local businesses, schools. Some of the highlights: visited Legacy Christian Academy in Valencia, had a great engagement there. Got to sit down and congratulate the Heart High girls soccer team out of Santa Clarita that just won the CIF championship. Gave a floor speech for them yesterday as well. Met with an Eagle Scout, Alex King. Sat down with some of the black community leaders, the pastors in the Antelope Valley, about an opportunity that we're chasing for some funding for some youth programs. Fantastic meeting. It's going to be very successful. We hosted the administrator of NASA at Edwards Air Force Base for a town hall. Fantastic tour, great leader there at NASA. We dedicated a hangar actually at Fox Field for the Antelope Valley College in honor of a guy, Jack Halliday, who's been a leader not only at Antelope Valley College but in the aerospace business for several decades. Took a tour of the prison facilities out there in Lancaster, met with the warden, visited Sundown Elementary as well, and we pinned something like 15 medals on veterans out there in the Antelope Valley that day as well. So sat down with parents, sat down with some IBEW reps, and looked at how we can help some of the workers in the area. So fantastic engagements in the district. Here in Washington, D.C., also some good progress. Obviously, most of the talk this week has been around the debt ceiling. I want you guys to know that we are fighting the fight to make sure that all of these conversations around spending are not coming at the expense of Social Security, Medicare, and especially our military and VA benefits. And in fact, we are legally not allowed to touch Social Security and Medicare buckets. Those are what's called mandatory spending that Congress and the appropriations committees don't have oversight. But we did pass a debt ceiling. We're allowing the debt ceiling to be increased for about another year, but we're also asking that we get back to FY22 spending levels, which is frankly only 6 months ago. So these aren't draconian cuts, but it's stopping the trend of this out-of-control spending. The president this year requesting $1.9 trillion for our annual operating budget, which is about 50% higher than it was just 3 or 4 years ago with the budgets that we enacted. So we've got to slow down the spending. We've got to start getting back to fiscal responsibility. Our debt at $32 trillion right now is out of control. Inflation's out of control. It's because of the out-of-control spending. So we're reversing that tide. We've been walking into a turning propeller, as I would say, over the last several years. We need to either stop spinning that propeller or stop walking into it, and that's all we're trying to do with these debt ceiling negotiations. Introduced 3 big bills this week as well. The first bill is what I call the Hike Act. This is also known as the Rim of the Valley. This preserves some of the wildlands around our district through the 14 corridor and the mountains above the Antelope Valley, also Santa Monica, the southern parts of Santa Clarita, to make sure that our district keeps the character, keeps the wildlands, the areas that we do our recreation in. So hoping to get that passed this cycle, hopefully get through the Senate and sign into law as well. The second bill was the Cash to Classrooms Act that I introduced. This is something I don't think has been done before in the House, but this basically prevents states from using this average daily allowance or ADA method for calculating funding that goes to schools. Right now in California, what happens is if a class or a school has 8% absentee rates, which is about normal in our district, about 92% show up to school on a given day, that 8% is actually taken out of that school's budget. So the teachers have 8% less to work with, the superintendents, the principals have 8% to work with. And it's not the school's fault. In some cases, the kids don't show up to school. It's nothing they can control. And in fact, the students, in some cases, can't control it either. So it makes no sense to defund our schools based on absentees and students not coming. So this bill basically prevents states, there's only 7 states, and go figure California is one of them, that actually decrement funding as a function of absenteeism. So this is hopefully a move in the right direction. We can use that money to give teachers a pay raise. We can use that money to buy more buses and get people to school safely. We can use it for various reasons, and there's a lot of needs right now in all of our local schools for sure. gave a floor speech on that as well, so we'll provide that for reference. And then the last bill we introduced this week is the RAISE Act, and this is a continuation of my push to pay our military more. As you guys know, our military starts off at $21,000 a year, which is like $11 an hour when you normalize that for a 40-hour work week. You can go work at In-N-Out right now for $22 an hour, so that's about half of what an In-N-Out worker makes. So the RAISE Act, which stands for Raising Annual Income of Service Members by Enhancing Military Base Pay, requires that we pay our troops $31,200 or more, which is the equivalent of about $15 per hour. So I'm confident we're going to get that passed in this session. We're working on the Appropriations Committee to do so, but also with the Armed Service Committee and then our counterparts in the Senate. But we've got to take better care of our troops. That's a big deal. Also had a couple of hearings this week. Probably the most frustrating one I've ever been a part of was this hearing where I was questioning the administrator of the DEA, the Drug Enforcement Agency. She told me they're doing a good job of fighting this drug crisis, this fentanyl crisis on the southern border. And it was like they haven't been watching the news. 100,000 people a year are getting poisoned and killed by fentanyl. So to hear the DEA administrator tell me that she thinks they're doing a good job is very frustrating. They have the resources. Unfortunately, this president is only trying to plus up their budget by just a couple percentage points, so it doesn't make sense when he's plussing everything up by 18% in other agencies. But we have to figure out how to secure the border. I asked her if the border was being open is hurting or helping, and she didn't give me an answer. So we have a real problem right now, and so we've got to keep fighting this fight. We've got to give the resources to the Border Patrol agents and the DEA agents on the ground. They're trying to do their jobs, but obviously it would help if the president would also secure the border, and if we treated China as the threat that they are with their shipments of precursor material through Mexico and into the United States. That's a huge problem. So coming up, I'll be in the district next week. Looking forward to all the meetings there. We've got a full calendar. We'll be in session the following week talking about border security, talking about halting fentanyl, getting it scheduled as a case one, Schedule 1 narcotic like it should be permanently. And as always, please subscribe to the newsletter if you haven't already. We'll keep doing these weekend reviews and keep you updated on social media as well. Take care, guys.